Welcome, everyone, to this brand new edition of WLW Amplify.
Or, as I like to call it, Shut Up and Talk Wrestling.
That's another show.
Like all of them.
That's the show for after when we do our live commentary.
Oh, well, see, there it is. More shows that I don't know I'm on. That's the problem.
Oh, okay. Anyhow.
I'm not Sean Patrick here, man. No,
right.
These irons,
Anyhow, good afternoon, everybody. It is Sunday the 4th, the day after WLW Strong, which we're going to get into talking about today. All in all, can we just start off by saying just how great it was to be back in the arena?
Oh, man. I mean, it's just like, I'm almost like addicted to the being in front of the fans and watching these guys wrestle in front of me,
Yeah.
And having the best seat in the house while I do it. Every time I get a chance to get up there, I'm so happy that I'm able to be up there and be able to be doing this, especially at my age, at my skill level. Hey,
hello to everybody who's joining us. Looks like Jason Moran is with us.
It's good to see I-Dub in there.
We saw him earlier today.
Yeah, he's an old friend of mine.
Oh, okay. We were on Uncensored Wrestling Talk earlier with Sarge and Doc Med, who were at the show last night,
Sarge listening in now,
talking about all kinds of wrestling, plus what happened last night at WLW, and we'll get into that. But for you, what was it like to walk back into the arena for another show?
Well, for one thing, it was a lot easier to walk back into the arena and get up in that ring because now we have a new setup.
Yeah, that was nice. The entrance.
I like the entrance without the stage.
Yeah,
it's nice. We can keep them separated. To quote an old song.
I built that. That was me. That was all me. No, I'm kidding. It wasn't me. I didn't do it.
I pushed it around. I will say that.
One of the sad things, though, from last night is we did get a chance to pay our respects with a 10-bell salute to not only Bullet Bar Bob Armstrong that we lost, but personally for WLW, the loss to us was, of course, Road Warrior Animal, Joe Laurinaitis.
Yeah,
one half of legendary team, Road Warriors, Legion of Doom, however you knew them.
People like to say arguably the best ever, but that for me they're the best ever.
I don't know how much you can argue that, to be honest.
Right. It's a short argument if you're going to have it. You're going to lose with me. And not to mention, like you said, it's personal because he used to come up there. We'd have Warrior Wednesdays, and he'd come up and help the guys train a little bit, spend some time with them in the ring, and some of that's rubbed off. I mean, you seen the Heartthrob last night.
We'll talk about that too. I was going to say there was certain tributes, and
there were.
We'll get to that when that time comes.
He had his belt there ringside most
of the night. That was
nice.
That was cool. I guess first of all, a thank you to our sponsors at World League Wrestling: Jim Trenary Ford in Moscow Mills, Jim Trenary Chevrolet in Troy, Impact Digital Designs.
And CT Harrison Business Solutions and Traveling East Productions.
I am blessed to be able to be part of the crew over there, at World League Wrestling, doing production, commentary. Started off as a sponsor, and it's been fabulous ever since.
Yeah, who was almost itching more than us, it seemed, last night was the fans themselves.
Oh, yeah.
They were ready for some wrestling. I mean, they were there full force, full throat, getting out there yelling, getting after the bad guys.
Sarge says, best tag team of all time.
That's right, Sarge.
Absolutely correct.
Sarge is,
with you.
If you don't agree with that, you're wrong.
If you don't agree with that, you're wrong. Yeah. So, who else is here? Julie Sipu? Sipu? I'm
Sipu.
sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that, but
We will butcher
she
names.
says, I will butcher names, yeah. She says, yes, they were the best tag team and my personal favorites. Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. But we digress, and let us begin and start discussing last night. WLW
A lot
strong
of great matches.
last night.
A lot of great matches.
Well, let's just kick it off from the beginning. We had we started off with Brandon Espinoza versus Stefan Newton, the millennial. What does he call himself?
Nightmare?
Manila.
The millennial millionaire?
He's only a nightmare to the boys in training.
He's a pain in the butt for me last night all the way around. I have to say.
Sipu. Julie Sipu. Sipu. All right. So, Espy.
Well,
He comes into this match. We know Espy as a ring veteran. We know Espy's been around. We know Stefan Newton, one of our young lions coming up. We know that Brandon Espinoza, half of a great tag team, Superstar Steve, accolades of his own. Going into that, what did you expect?
Well, with the fact that both of them are in a position right now where they have a lot to prove. SB spent a long time fighting alongside of a partner. And
I feel like SB is trying to prove, or SB needs to prove that, or he wants to prove, not needs to prove, because he doesn't need to prove to me, but I feel like he feels like he needs to prove like he still belongs in a way, like he's, you know what I mean, like this change in the world and everything that's going on. Like he still fits in somehow. And last night it was no different. I think he against this young lion in Stefan Newton, and Stefan needs to prove that he
ready.
belongs, that he's ready, that he needs more and wants more.
Right. I mean, they're both looking for their own singles accolades right now, and while SB's proven himself in the ring at World League Wrestling as a tag team competitor, now's maybe the time for him to strike out on his own. And he comes in with a lot weighing down on him for everything he's done, looking for more.
Right.
And there he is. He's faced up against one of these young lions again that are cutting their teeth. And Stefan Newton, he's been through the mill already in several matches. I mean, he fought his own partner, Raheem De La Suede, and lost. And he lost against Jack Gamble in Richmond. So, it's like he's got a lot to prove. He has all of the talent. He has all of the skills that you need. He's athletic, he's strong, he's big.
Yeah.
Everything you want, but he's still very young to the ring. All of this, it just makes what happened more surprising.
I was very surprised. Was not the outcome I expected.
No, not at all. I mean, but we knew we were in for it, because as soon as the match starts, here they go. They get into each other, and SB had wore this new gear out, and he had this mask that he was going to wrestle in. Mm-hmm. I asked him before the match, "You sure you want to wrestle in this?" And he wanted to. And lo and behold, Stefan Newton, he takes it right off of his face. I mean, he just more than takes it, he knocked it off of his face.
Yeah.
And it was a statement. It kind of set a tone for the match too.
Yeah.
I could see when SB got up after that, he was frustrated and he was mad, and I think Newton got in his head just a little bit.
Did you officiate that match?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And it wasn't the typical match that you usually see out of SB either. SB normally is like, he's always aggressive, but we're seeing like a different side of SB. It's not that, for lack of a better word, the jerk that we normally had in the past. I don't know what else to say on that. I don't want to.
You see what he's been saying, on the World League site. He feels like it's his job to kind of cleanse the world of this rookie division, it almost seems like.
In a way.
And, last night he goes up against Stefan Newton, young up-and-comer, and kind of come up against a brick wall, if you want my opinion. I mean,
and Stefan looked good.
Yes, he did. I mean,
really enjoyed that match. I'm not a fan of Stefan Newton's antics. Okay, but I am a fan of his ability, and I'm a fan of what I think he can become and achieve in World League Wrestling.
This is very true. I would rather discuss his antics later on in the show.
Well, we'll get to that too. Yeah, we'll get to that too. And I'm sure JDR would like to discuss those antics as well.
Oh, I'm certain.
I'm sure that's not over with, but we'll get to that too as well. Going on a little bit further, after that we had a little interview. Heartthrob came out and decided he was going to talk a little bit about his opponent, Zach.
Well, ZC has been on his mind, and ZC Hendricks really wants to be on the Heartthrob's mind for some reason.
Does he?
He definitely looks up to him. We get on Amplify here, and we talk about how helpful the veterans are with the younger guys behind the scenes.
Yes.
And the Heartthrob, no less, for the character that he is, for the person that he is in the ring, he will help. But I think that ZC Hendricks has been more of an annoyance to him than he has been just a young up-and-comer looking for a little bit of advice. Everything that ZC Hendricks says to him seems to rub him the wrong way, and God bless him. ZC does not seem to notice that. I mean, he was almost imploring him across the ring last night that they be friends. He put his hair up in pigtails, and
is that what he was saying? That's not what I got from it.
He was saying he was going to prove he would be respected.
And trying to antagonize him. I didn't get the whole friend thing. That didn't come across to me.
Well, he also likes to get under his skin.
Yeah.
Because then he's getting that notice.
Well, okay. So basically, negative is a positive for him, I guess. If I annoy him enough, then I'll get his attention.
Well, that's the thing. He, no matter what he was trying to do, putting the pigtails in his hair and yelling across the ring while Elaney was patting him down.
The Heartthrob did smack one of those pigtails clear out into the crowd.
Right. I mean, he definitely got a reaction out of the Heartthrob last night, who I would like to say was wearing the face paint.
Yes. And that's what we were going to talk about earlier, was a really nice tribute to Animal from the Heartthrob.
That's right.
And I won't get into that, because
there's a connection there for him personally, but that's his.
That's not my story to tell.
Right.
But that being said, that was nice to see.
Yeah.
What an end to that match.
Especially with the way the match started out, because I mean, Heartthrob brutalized Hendricks. Yeah. That's the only. I mean, generally these guys, they don't bust themselves up pretty bad, but there, he wouldn't get out of the Heartthrob's face through the whole match. That was the one thing. He's like that gum on the bottom of your shoe.
So now ZC Hendricks is gum on the bottom.
I mean, well, at least for the Heartthrob. I mean, I like ZC Hendricks. I think he's a scrappy little guy.
He's not giving up. I'll give him that.
That's right.
He's tenacious. He's not giving up. I personally don't see what he sees.
I mean, if we were in the South right now, we'd be saying bless his heart.
Oh, bless his heart.
Bless his heart. But he got his butt whooped. You know, he gave back as much as he could. I promise you, folks, he did not give as good as he got.
No,
but I tell you what, you know, you can go ahead and break that news for him. I mean,
in the end, the victory had to go to Zach. Had to go to ZC Hendricks.
And backstage, it's just a little inside information.
Oh, did I miss something?
Backstage, I found out that he had used the tights. Now I don't blame. I don't blame Elaney because I seen the end of the match.
Are you sure he used the tights, or is a heartthrob saying he did? Did you actually see it on film?
ZC Hendricks said he beat him in his own game. Yeah, he said he said he pulled the tights because the heartthrob would have pulled the tights.
So now he's emulating the heartthrob. That's great. So we get the pigtails and the pulling of the tights to emulate. Oh, this is good. You know what? Okay, let me just say
single white male. Somebody?
Let me just say this. I'm excited to see where this goes because this could go either way. It's going to be great because this could go one of two directions. One, the heartthrob could just get really ticked off, and we won't see ZC Hendricks again. Okay, he'll be under a table somewhere.
Right.
Or we could see the heartthrob just go, "Are you kidding, kid? Come on. All right, let's go." You know what I mean? Come with me. That could go either direction. Either way, I'm in.
I see a long fall with a really abrupt stop.
Sarge says that the heartthrob busted ZC in the mouth hard enough to bloody his mouth, and that is true. We did see that.
Very true.
We try not to have that at World League Wrestling, but you can't get away with it sometimes. It just happens.
I believe Shawn Michaels said sometimes a kick to the face is just a kick to the face, and last night a punch to the mouth was a punch to the mouth.
Twas. But I'm excited to see where this goes if it continues, and what ZC can do.
I can't see it not continuing at this point because if I'm the heartthrob.
That couldn't have been, like, for the heartthrob, that's not the end. It can't be the
end.
Like he's one of those guys that just, he's got to have the last word.
Right.
And that cannot be, getting
that's
not the last
it.
word. So that's not how that works. But anyways, moving on. Next, let me set this up for you. If you go back onto the World League Wrestling Facebook page, you can see where. Well, first of all, Raheem De La Suede legitimately earned himself a #1 contendership for the World League Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Championship, currently being held by Sean Patrick. Sean Patrick was not able to be there last night at WLW Strong because, and I'm going to say that Sean Patrick is in the, is he reserve or National Guard? What is
I believe it's reserve, but I'm not positive.
Either way, he had duties over the weekend, and
I try to not
respect.
I try not to separate it. He's serving his country.
He's serving his country. Respect to you, Sean, for that, and I'll be glad to see you again very, very soon. And thank you for what you do. But that being said, he was not able to be there. Now, he agreed to a #1 contendership match at first, to put up his #1 contendership against none other than a ring general by the name of Jaden Dominic Rose. Then, if you go to the World League Wrestling Facebook page, you will see where he tried to get out of that.
Well,
he tried to get out of that, and Leland said no.
I mean,
you signed on the line. It's a contract. It is a done deal. You will defend your #1. You will put that on the line against Jaden Dominic Rose.
You know, this is the thing going into this match. You know, Suede was on a roll. He had just beat Sean Patrick. He had just beat ZC Hendricks. Mm-hmm. He's on a 2-match winning streak, and it's got to be the youth. He's young, and he's not really, and supremely confident.
And Talented, very talented.
But he said it in a hot moment while he had that camera in his face, and Jaden Dominic Rose has fought wars in the ring. You think that was a heat
of the moment thing?
Well, yeah, I think he was feeling his oats. I mean, he's a young guy. He's cocky. He's got a right to be cocky. He's a really good wrestler.
Hello, Austin.
But yeah, I kind of felt like he was feeling his oats in the moment, and that's why you see the video start off, and he's in there telling, I don't know that I want to do this. I earned this already. And, if you've already earned it, then maybe you shouldn't put it on the chopping block, especially against someone like JDR.
And that's what I was going to say, especially since somebody like Jaden Dominic Rose, who has been there, done it.
Right. I mean, he beat John Webb for the junior heavyweight title.
Did.
He held it for a very long time. He won a tournament a few years back. And
keep in mind, John Webb is not just... the first junior heavyweight champion, but John Webb is actually a former heavyweight champion.
Exactly.
So he beat a former heavyweight champion for that as well.
I mean, if that isn't enough, he's been to war with Leland Race.
Yes.
All the way down to a no-holds-barred, no disqualification match. So,
everything's war with Leland Race. I tried to play.
Well,
I tried to play Skip-Bo with him the other night, and it was war.
Did he tear your cards up?
Yeah.
Is that Skip-Bo?
If you notice, I'm wearing my WLW beanie, which, by the way, you can get www.harleyrace.com.
That's right.
So,
oh,
there you go.
Shirts,
let me get that. There you go. See, you can get those T-shirts. Look at that Harley Race T-shirt right there. Right at www.harleyrace.com. Okay, there's the plug for the store. So we're wearing ours. Go get yours.
Well, back to this Raheem and JDR thing.
I had to. I didn't know what to think going into this match. I did know that, number one, I have high hopes for Raheem De La Suede, because like I said, a very talented individual, trained at the Harley Race Wrestling Academy against JDR, who, like we said, has tons of accomplishments,
right?
Tons of experience, and I feel like in the end, it was the experience that won out.
Well, I mean, they pulled out all the stops, Raheem and Stefan Newton.
We're going to get to that, yeah.
And when we get to that, you're going to hear me rant and rave.
Well, Stefan Newton came out with him, at first.
Mm-hmm.
And stayed at ringside. Got involved a few times. Now, unfortunately, there was a couple of times you weren't able to see. Your back was turned. You couldn't see nothing. And that's not your fault as a referee.
Well, I got to see the tail end of what he got for his efforts.
You did. You saw him just get absolutely nailed.
Mm-hmm.
And he stammered. He wandered around the ring kind of a little bit dazed, quite a bit dazed, I should say. He came over by me at the cameras, which you'll see on film soon. But over the ropes, into the camera.
Yeah. In your living room, folks, when you watch it.
Until that footage comes at you, because I was right there, standing there, taking it. Let me tell you. And then JDR with a crossbody. Was it a crossbody? I can't remember.
It was he flipped out of the ring.
He flipped out of the ring, landed, took both of them out, took out my camera at that point too. You were going to get like some of the best footage on that, I guarantee you, courtesy of moi. No. Anyhow, but yeah, and then we got the pin. We ended up with the 1, 2, 3. Do you remember what the finish was?
Through everything with Stefan Newton getting in the ring, getting up on the apron, and interfering and grabbing legs and everything else that he could do to try and help Raheem. JDR hits that Final Fantasy, and gets the victory, which, I hate to say it, but it could be an expected outcome. It could totally be an expected outcome. He's a ring veteran. He's still young.
My money, at the beginning, if I was a betting man, my money was on JDR.
Right. And honestly, when I
feel like I feel like Raheem should have never, ever put that number one contendership on the line.
No, that's the one thing I would have never done. I'm sure he won't again either. But honestly, when I seen Stefan Newton standing out there, staying in his corner because, they're a team and I can't send him away until he does something. But I figured that advantage would play in a little bit stronger. And, well, it just...
You did, but the advantage was two young lions against one veteran.
That's right.
And this time, even the veteran won out over the two young lions, no matter what happened. But to me, that wasn't the pinnacle of this whole situation. After everything was said and done, after the win went to him, and it went to JDR, and JDR was ready and willing to, he says, Sean, I'm coming for it, da-da-da-da-da, with as much respect as it can come out. Something quite despicable happened.
And even for what you usually see from Raheem and Stefan Newton.
That's possible, Sarge. Sarge says I see a triple threat match coming. It's possible, but I don't think so. I think you're going to see the one-on-one. I want to see the one-on-one between JDR and Sean Patrick. But
right.
I'm sorry, I digress. We went.
It's uncharacteristic of them, even with the tactics that they use. I had already made my way to the back.
You think it was uncharacteristic?
Well, they had never actually jumped on someone before like that.
Just because they hadn't done it doesn't mean I don't expect it.
Makes
sense. You know what I'm saying?
I was getting ready to go back and start getting ready for the main event at that point.
Yeah, because you walked right by me. You walked right by the camera, and you were headed to the back.
And then I hear the bell going.
Right.
And I have to run back out there, I'm sorry to say, by the time I got back out there, the damage had already been done. And I have to tell you, folks, I have to tell you, Stefan Newton. I have to tell you, Raheem de las Wade, there's going to be a reckoning for that. He is not going to sit back and...
Doesn't it make you wish sometimes that as the official, as the referee, you had the power to reverse a decision and say, you know what?
Once it's in the books.
But JDR had already won, so that really doesn't count. But, what do? You can't, there's nothing as an official can do about it.
The best that I can do is go in the office Monday morning, bright and early, and file a complaint that happened and see if there can't be some fines handed down.
It could be some fines, yeah. I didn't think about that. You're right.
In that situation, I don't know if a suspension would be in order. I'm not fully in control of that.
I don't think that's, I don't think so. But then again, even a fine to Stefan Newton is nothing. He don't care.
There you go. But the thing is that
doesn't hurt him.
30 days. If you suspend them or if you fine them, it's not going to be the same punishment that Jaden Dominic Rose can hand out.
Yeah, Sarge says JDR is going to do something about that in the future, and he's right. I guarantee you he will.
No, I mean it's the nature of the game,
and that could happen at the arena. That could happen in the meantime, in between time, before the next event. There could be during training, you could see something happen there too. I wouldn't put it past him. I can see JDR twisting in both of those guys into pretzels.
Right. It wouldn't be the first time that things got overheated at practice. I mean,
sure. If you think all the action happens in the ring, you're sadly mistaken. You should see sometimes what happens in the heat. When things are going down at the school sometimes.
Exactly, and you can only be so professional before I'm fully willing to ref any matches that Jaden Dominic Rose wants in the future against them.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was a good match.
But, Yeah, I mean, both of them really walked away from that match looking good. I mean, Suede showed that he could take some punishment and still come out and just throw it around like he does. I mean, the kid flies everywhere. He's got game-changing ability.
Yeah.
And I've seen this at several different tiers of a match. You know, you got your 5-minute matches, and then you move up to 10 to 15 to,
30s to Ironman.
In practice, I've seen that young man wrestle for a long time and blow-up drills. He's one of the tops.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, so he can change a game at any moment. It's just that ring savvy, it won out. I mean, JDR used their tricks against him, I would say. That's the only way to say it. I've seen him play some of these tricks that, he wasn't.
That's what's strange to me right now is seeing people do the stuff that he used to do.
Right.
And
Some of that.
him take the high road. It's just really, and then I'm not saying I don't like it. I like it. I like JDR this way.
I think it makes him a better competitor.
Absolutely, without a doubt. So, that being said, let's take. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the tag team championships were on the line.
That's right.
Last night, as well as the WLW Heavyweight Championship in a blind challenge, and we'll get to that and see who we'll talk about who answered that challenge and what happened. So there you have it. We'll be right back.
Jim Trenary Ford in Moscow Mills, Missouri has knowledgeable sales staff and expert service technicians dedicated to delivering the best possible customer service from any Ford dealership in the region. Subscribe to our channel for comprehensive vehicle walkarounds, test drives, and model-specific how-to videos, which will give you a glimpse into the passion we have for these vehicles and the real difference the Jim Trenary experience makes. Stay up to date on the newest technology, features, models, and news from Jim Trenary Ford, where our huge inventory means we'll have the perfect vehicle to fit your lifestyle. Our seasoned team of sales and service experts can get you in, out, and on with your day without the pressure you'll feel at the other dealerships. Subscribe to our channel and stop by to see the difference the Jim Trenary experience can make today.
Jim Trenary Ford and Jim Trenary Chevrolet, Moscow Mills, and Troy, Missouri for all your vehicle needs.
They've been riding with us for a long time,
for a
man.
while now.
It's
Yeah,
always
Leland,
nice to have them there.
Leland actually, did you see the commercial we had to make because Leland destroyed his car? There you go.
It would be fun to say I was behind the camera on that one.
I was.
But I wasn't. I actually decided to not be there on the day that they put the sledgehammer in Leland Race's hands.
Remember this?
I've reffed a few of his matches. So
remember the at the one event we had the charity car bash.
Yes.
And I picked up Sledgehammer and I went after it on that car. And I don't remember how long we got. 20 seconds, 30 seconds. I don't remember what it was.
I believe it was 30.
But I'm going to tell you what. I was sore afterwards. I didn't realize what that does. But anyhow.
It was fun to take a turn at smashing up a car, though.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Coming out of intermission at World League Wrestling last night at WLW Strong, we had the tag team titles were on the line. Now, here's what was really cool about it, for me anyways. Well, number one, you had the tag champs, Camaro Jackson and John Webb, defending the titles. But we got to see the debut of a brand new team to World League Wrestling.
Yes, we did. I believe they were called No Role Models.
No Role Models.
I had very limited time with them backstage because I had a whole lot of other. Apparently, John Webb doesn't like me reffing his matches. Who'd have thought?
Well, if you remember when we had him on the show, he says, "Oh, it's a pleasure to talk to you again, CT." Martin, you not so much.
Right. Well, that's always,
He blames you though. He blames you for a lot. He says you can't count to 3.
Well, I was reffing.
I feel like you do your job.
I feel I was reffing the night he lost the world title, and that's a huge blow.
Okay, well, there you have it.
He's friends with Derek Stone, so he's got to blame somebody.
Are they friends?
Well, or allies.
Okay, we'll go with allies.
Allies. It's an empire, so.
So, well, and you know what? And they almost hold all the gold.
If they had...
They've got the WLW Heavyweight Championship in Derek Stone. They have the Tag Team Championships. What they don't have is the Junior.
Yeah, thank goodness they haven't been able to get inside the head of one of these young lions, because with their backing...
Yeah, but how much time do you think that'll take for them to do that? Is there a chance that the Empire could hold all the gold?
Well, if they choose to, I'm sure that they could get inside the head of one of these young lions. I'm sure that they could back him up, and I'm sure that they could cause him to not only get a shot, but win. The thing is that if you've listened to any of our interviews with these guys, they are arrogant, and they feel they're above these young lions. All of them, we'll give you that lip service respect. Mm-hmm. You young punks tried hard, but they never miss an opportunity to tell them that they're not on the same level. So maybe the Empire feels they're above the junior heavyweight title. I don't know.
I don't know about that. Maybe. But I don't know. But you talk about, you have the tag team champions, John Webb and Camaro Jackson. John Webb being, of course, as we said earlier, a former junior heavyweight champion.
That's right.
And a former heavyweight champion in tag.
First Triple Crown
champion we had at World League Wrestling.
He's held everything.
Then
and he's holding something now.
Then you have Camaro Jackson, one half of a very, very dominant and very, very talented tag team in Alpha Omega with Kenny Alfonso. And to look at Camaro Jackson, you're talking about a guy with tree trunks for legs. Probably the strongest guy in World League Wrestling today.
That's very true. I mean, I've been able to see him throw people around up close, and he does it with ease. So much ease. I mean, he just, big people too. Like Leland Race, he threw Leland Race around. He did wrestle Derek Stone at one point, and he outpowered Derek Stone. And now they're all on the same team. I mean,
which I find odd.
And you see this. Do you see these two accomplished tag team wrestlers with John Webb and Camaro Jackson?
Right.
And then they come together, and for me, I kind of understand where John's coming from when he's arrogant about high-level enterprise, because he was definitely the workhorse of the tag team. I don't know that he was having to pick up a whole lot of dead weight with Gamble, but that's his opinion. I haven't heard any. Camaro just does not talk about his ex-tag team partner, but they were serious contenders for the WLW tag team title before.
They did. They actually faced Rex and Kyle Roberts at Night of Champions for it.
And that was a crazy match. I mean,
it was an insane match. I was lucky enough to be ringside filming that one, and that was amazing.
I mean, at one point they had all four men in the ring going just heels. I mean, they were just throwing down with each other. It was, and they come very close to winning that tag team title, and maybe he felt that that's what it was. He didn't win it with Kenny, so
maybe. Unfortunately, the debut of this new tag team kind of fell short, although they looked really good, and I enjoyed watching them. I hope they come back to World League Wrestling. I'd like to see more of them.
Yes, very much so.
Grow with World League Wrestling.
Because you could see, they're in against two of the best tag team wrestlers we got to offer, and they held their own for as long as they could. But it just, you know, at some point the cup's got to overflow, and that's what happened. I mean,
Sarge says that Camaro just loves to point out that he broke Leland's neck all the time, and he does. He's always. I think he made a T-shirt out of it. As a matter of fact,
that he did do. But you know, it's not a nice guy thing to do. But I mean, if you got the ability to say you're the guy who's got Leland walking around in a button-up shirt instead of his tights right now.
Yeah, he's wearing. I mean,
that's
he
a
shows
feather
up in a sports coat and a
right.
Now,
I mean, feather in the cap. You know, why not? You know, it's the same as saying I won a title, in my opinion.
Right. The debuting tag team fell short, and
right.
Of course, the Empire came up victorious, and continued to kind of beat on them afterwards and send them on out.
That's right. You know, and
that was a done deal.
You know, all of those hijinks and shenanigans, as I say, but aside, they really proved their mettle to be against the men that they were against in the ring.
Sure.
You know, I don't want to take anything away from no role models, because they really got up there and showed that they were talented, and that they were a well-rounded team. They had speed, they had power. You know, that like to see a little bit more technical wrestling from them. Okay. But, you know, maybe we get to see that again in the future, and maybe they show us.
Maybe so. Let's hope so. Moving on, to end the night in the main event, the WLW Heavyweight Championship was on the line. The heavyweight champion, Derek Stone, issued a what do you call it?
He called it an open challenge.
An open challenge. That's what I was looking for. An open challenge. Now, as we saw on WLW Facebook, Moses the Deliverer really wanted that. We saw him. He came and he talked to us while in the gym at the school. Then we saw that while Raheem De La Suede was trying to get out of his match with JDR, we saw Moses come in and interrupt that meeting with Leland Race, where he tried to explain to Leland Race and try to get Leland to understand that he wanted that shot, that he deserved that shot, that he felt that he can handle it and he would handle business. That did not happen at that point. Go ahead.
Even Derek Stone told him, you know, you've already had a shot. You've already, you know, you just lost your tag titles.
Right.
You've kind of been on a downstroke.
Which I was going to say too. He and Colton Theron Vaught lost their tag team titles to the Empire, but have yet to try to have a rematch. But then again, on the flip side of that, we have not seen Colton Theron Vaught since.
Right.
Where are
Moses
you,
has been kind of floating in no man's land. I mean, he formed an impromptu tag team with Jaden Dominic Rose just at a show not too far back. And, you know, I honestly, at this point, feel like this is where Moses needs to be.
In a singles?
Yes. You know what? Because he's had proven to him over and over again that you can't rely on anybody. You know, and well, look at last night's match. You know, the interference of the Empire, and I think Moses is fully capable to take it by himself. It's just you know, I was as close as anybody can be to that match, CT, and Moses was as close to anybody that I've seen since Derek Stone won that title to dethroning him.
Well,
you know,
I wasn't going to get that far yet into this. I was trying to tell I wanted to say how this all came about.
Well, I'm sorry about that. I was just, you know.
Right, I hear you. But we got from that meeting with Leland.
Mm-hmm.
And last night at WLW Strong, the champion comes to the ring, and he stands there in front of everyone, making the challenge. Who's it going to be? Well, through the curtain, of course, comes the Deliverer Moses, wanting that shot. He's ready. Well, out from the curtain comes Leland. Leland Race comes out to stop him and say no.
And he's right.
And I get that. You're right. He does. And, well, at that point, Derek Stone starts flapping at the jaws. All right? And all of a sudden, he's saying, well, who's it going to be then? Is it going to be you, Leland? Well, come on. He ends up getting on Leland's nerves to a point where Leland just finally said to Mo, go.
Well, honestly, I don't think Derek believed anybody was going to answer that challenge.
I don't think so either.
He you know, when he was talking to me in the ring.
Because you figure Superstar Steve wasn't there.
That's right.
And that's who would have been, I mean, he's number one contender at this time, right? There is no Superstar Steve right now.
No, he's off doing his thing.
He's off doing his thing. He'll be returned. So Moses does what any individual should do in the wrestling business. He stepped up. He called his shot. He found an opportunity and he took it to the best of his ability. So Leland says, all right, Mo, I'm done listening to Derek Stone's mouth. He's writing a check that his butt can't cash. Go cash that check, he tells him. And Mo gets the chance. Finally. Gets in the ring, and we get a very, very great competition.
What a match. I mean, just back and forth. It's an honor to referee someone like Derek Stone. I know what popular opinions can be.
Well,
but
it
it's
doesn't
just
matter what you say about Derek Stone. You can talk about Derek Stone all you want to, as far as his attitude and the way that he is, but you have to admit that Derek Stone is a dominant professional wrestler who knows his craft.
It does definitely seem like nobody knows how to beat a man down faster than Derek Stone at this point.
And brutally.
Moses is a tough customer. I mean, you remember the tag match and fighting alone. I was talking about that this morning. And he's been through several situations like that. Derek put him through the ringer the first time they fought. Mm-hmm. And, Moses came back firing last night.
He held up beautifully. What we saw from Moses last night, in my opinion, was we saw a no-give-up attitude. We saw tremendous toughness out of him. He took everything that Derek Stone dished out. Everything.
And he was still dishing.
And he's still dishing. And, man, so how many times did we get a 2 count to that 2 3/4 count to where he was just this close?
That's another thing. I've reffed quite a few of Derek Stone's title defenses, and I'm not sure he's been on his back as much in a match. I mean,
I thought, in my opinion, I felt that Moses was very effective last night.
Yes.
And at any given moment in time during that match, I really feel like Moses could have had it.
I feel
like we could have had a new World League Wrestling heavyweight champion in Moses to deliver at any point in time.
And if he does find a way into that shot again, I don't know that he doesn't walk away. I mean, he knows what he's got to go through. He's proven that I think we're seeing the graduation of a young man into a top-notch performer, a top-notch competitor, just one of the top guys. Moses, the first one to debut, so maybe it
could be the sign of the times.
It could very well be a sign of the times with Sean Patrick out there doing as well as he does, and Colton Theron Vaught looked like he was going to skyrocket as soon as he got his chance. And Moses is not holding the door for Colton Theron Vaught either. He's going to walk through that door if he can, and he proved it.
Like I said, he found that opportunity to go for a title shot, and he took it.
Right.
And you can't blame him for that.
And I mean, even at one point, you had the whole of the Empire.
I was going to get to that too. Absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up. What did it take at the end of that match?
Well, see, here's the thing is I'm worried about having to disqualify somebody, but Moses fought so damn hard for this shot. And I'm standing here and I'm seeing Webb and I'm seeing Camaro coming. And I'm like, if these guys get in here to do something, You know, if they get in here and they lay hands on Moses, I'm going to have to disqualify Derek, and Derek walks home with the title.
Yeah.
That's kind of a cheap victory, but what we got, CT, we got John Webb and Camaro Jackson did not lay hands on Moses. Moses laid hands on John Webb and Camaro and removed them from the situation. I mean, you know, it still, you know, did what it did, but it's just another testament to I mean, every time you see Moses get in that ring, he grows. He looks a little bit stronger. He's more and more of that thoroughbred that you want sitting.
You know what I see? I see now in Moses, since you had Moses the Young Lion, okay? Mm-hmm. And we saw him win tag team gold with Colton Theron Vaught. And then we've seen in that period of time a transformation in the performer that is Moses the Deliverer, to this point now where without the tag team gold, as a singles competitor, it's almost like the training wheels were knocked off, and he's like in free ride, man. Like he's going now. He's on the dirt track. He's hauling. You know what I mean? He sees.
Young man's about to pop a wheelie.
Yeah, I mean, man. You know,
he's about to.
He's gone
about
over
to
the
squeal them
whoop-de-doos.
wheels. Right.
He's done the whoop-de-doos. He's fixing to hit that jump now. You know, and it's kind of exciting to see.
You know, he showed just how hungry he was. You know, the big thing is that Moses, right there at the height of everything he could be and everything he could have gained, you know, he gets rid of Webb, he gets rid of Camaro, and Derek's waiting for him.
Sarge says that if it weren't for Webb and Jackson, Moses may have won that match, and we agree with you
100%, Sarge. Yeah.
Also, Sean Patrick says, "Wait, you mean to tell me Derek didn't win a match clean? Who would have thought?"
Well, he did. He technically didn't cheat, Sean.
Technically, he didn't. His boys came. I mean, well, yeah, distracted Moses. They came in and, like Sarge just said, distracted Moses long enough to take his eyes off of Derek Stone. Like Sarge said, and
you know,
that's the way it went down.
Once he hits that driver on you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I've reffed a lot of his matches at this point, and once he gets that Michinoku driver, it's all over but the crying. I mean,
so the boys came out, jumped in, tried to distract, tried to cause chaos, because I think they felt that it was that heavyweight championship was in jeopardy.
Well, yeah, it was. I mean, you could see it. You could see it happening. I'm sure even Derek Stone at this point would say Moses came close to beating him.
Would he?
Would he though? Yeah, I think he would. You know,
admit it.
He gives credit where credit's due. Now he may win at all costs. But he gives credit where credit's due. He didn't talk down Moses when he asked for the title shot and he denied him.
I don't know. Have you seen some of the stuff on Facebook? Some of the stuff between him and Sean Patrick?
Well,
he doesn't give Sean Patrick an inch, man.
Well, that's him and Sean Patrick, man. That's been kind of a shark skin rub, you know.
Yeah. Right.
You don't come away from it without a little blood.
But then again, Jason says, Martin may need to wear his glasses when he refs.
Well, there's been some conjecture about that, but the truth is that it's only for things close up, and I don't get too damn close to these guys while they're wrestling.
I did last night,
and you know what's to say I don't accidentally sometimes not see a thumb to the eye or something like that. You know, this is contact sport.
It is a contact sport, and WLW is where sports entertainment stops and professional
pro wrestling
lives, baby. And that's a fact. Your winner in that match, Derek Stone, by whatever means necessary. What's next for Mo? You know, he was very distraught.
You know, the kind of young man he is, I see him dusting himself off. I see him learning, and I see him improving. And
I think he comes back again for it.
right, I do not see
It's
him.
not done.
Right, I do not see him stopping his rise. He's going to keep going up. So, you know, all things considered, he took the challenge. He beat him. But really, the true story to come out of this is Moses proven just how strong he can be, just how tough he is, and just how much it takes to put him down.
Yep. Lost my camera, so
I'm sorry.
You're on the screen. It's all you now.
Hi, folks. That's what I wanted all along.
It's all about you, Pally. That's okay. This
was
being
pretty
the end,
close, right?
Yeah, we're right here at the end, so we'll finish out the show, and I will remind everybody that November 7th.
We're ready.
November 7th at the Race Wrestling Arena. World League Wrestling returns for another event. More great wrestling action, more great professional wrestling, and as you expect from World League Wrestling.
Right, we're going to see some fallout from stuff this week. You know, don't never forget about the ZC Hendricks and Heartthrob match and what's going to come from that.
How about that? All right, Sean. Pass that word. Sean says, I'll let Mo step up for a title shot against me. No boys in the back to distract him.
Hey, you know what? I'd love to see that match. I don't say it often, but I hope I don't have to ref that one so I can watch it.
I agree. Big thank you to our sponsors, Jim Trenary Chevrolet, Jim Trenary Ford, Impact Digital Designs,
CT Harrison Business Solutions, and Traveling East Productions.
And we here at Amplify will see you again November 8th.
That's
we'll be
right.
back on the air with Amplify. Hopefully very soon we'll be back. Martin and I will be back for live commentary on Thursday Showdown. But you want to make sure and join us this Thursday for Showdown. And again, next Sunday, join Sarge and Doc Med
What
over
a
on
show
the
that
Traveling
was.
East page and the Traveling East YouTube, and for
I mean, I know I got to sit here,
uncensored wrestling talk.
but what a show that was.
Yeah, it
Those
was
guys, you know, love to hear them talk wrestling.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So, that being said, thanks for joining us, everybody, and we'll see you November 8th
That's right.
and November 7th for the live show. Get your tickets, www.harleyrace.com.
As I'm telling you, if you're not at those shows, you're missing out, folks.
Absolutely. We will see you next time around.